next one, because we're back at the top, is the Miami Heat. And this one I should have done earlier, because this one is very easy for me as well, just from looking at stats. So last season, the Heat were the number one bench scoring team in the league. They were averaging 40.5 points per game just from their bench. Top 15 in rebounds, top 20 in assists per games. Their differential last season was +6. This season, you can fast forward to now, and we know exactly why this happened, or mostly why it happened, which was Tyler Hero becoming a starter, which absolutely he should have. But the drop-off, they're now the second worst team in bench scoring. They went from 40.5 last season to 26.2 this season, and they're bottom 3 in both assists and rebounds this year. Their differential is down -10. That's such a huge fall off. So if I'm the Miami Heat, my Christmas wish list is a bench. The entire bench. You just need to revamp the whole thing. And I know that's easier said than done.
Very much so.
But one or two good guys on there, and that's all you really need. Or move Hero back to the bench. You need someone running that second unit. You need someone on the floor when the starters are out. Staggering the the second best player on the team right now. Not an ideal situation, but you've got to do something, because when your bench is getting run through, you're having a lot more weight onto your starters to play at an even higher level than they already are to even be in the game, because they're consistently having to come back from deficits whenever they have to sit down for a break.
So, I'm going to put you in a scenario.
Okay.
You're Tyler Hero. You're in your early 20s.
Right.
You have been on the bench basically your whole career.
Absolutely.
You finally get the starting job. And your coach tells you, we want you to come back from the bench because this is not working out. How would you take that?
How many minutes am I, Tyler, averaging as a starter?
I'd actually have to look that up.
No, I'm spitballing. Like, I'm asking you, Coach, how many minutes am I going to be playing as a starter?
32.
Huh?
32.
I cannot hear you at all.
Yeah, your mic messed up.
Oh, 32.
You're still messed up.
So I'm gonna say like 32 minutes, right? Like that's what we would typically say. So I'm gonna ask you again, Coach, if I'm coming off the bench, how many points am I gonna be averaging? Or how many?
Okay, hello.
Okay, yeah. So I said about 32 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So 32 minutes. So how many minutes am I gonna be averaging if I come off the bench?
Probably around 28 to 30. Depends.
But why? Why not just have me average 30 to 32 off the bench? Why do we think that because you're on the bench, you have to average less minutes than a starter? All you're doing is staggering your players so that you have an offensive threat on the floor at all times. Because right now, if you've got Bam, Tyler, Jimmy, Kyle all coming off the floor at the same time because they're all playing at the same time, and then you're bringing in one or two of them at a time later, trying to stagger it to where you maybe sit Jimmy at 4 minutes and then you're staggering, you're sitting so that you always have one out there. It just, keeping fresh legs out is going to do more benefit than harm. And if I'm Tyler Hero, I don't care if I'm a starter or if I'm coming off the bench. I'm caring about getting wins. And I'm caring about getting my buckets. And we know he can do that off the bench. If you're playing the same amount of minutes, and you'd be stupid to play him less minutes just because, you're coming off the bench, so it's in the rule book, we got to play you less minutes. That's not a thing. He could be their leading minute getter from the bench. Like, there's no reason that he wouldn't be getting minutes off the bench. If it's a pride thing, sure, but you see a sports psychologist, get over that, because you got to do what's best for the team and what's going to get the wins and what's best for you. As long as you're getting the scoring opportunities and you're getting the minutes, I don't see why he would have a problem with it if the team is not able to find a solution. And it's December 15th today, so we can now see a lot of those players, the recently signed exceptions, are allowed to be traded. So I think this week we'll start to see a lot more rumors and maybe even some movement. We're still 56 days away from the deadline, but there could be
I'm just
more.
going to put this out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know you why you can't, just because I'm coming off the bench, why can't I get extra minutes? Tyler Hero, the minutes difference from this year to last year is 2, like I said. 28 to 30, 30 to 32. It's the same.
But there doesn't need to be any minute difference. That's just minutes management. He's got more minutes this year. There's no reason he couldn't get more minutes off the bench.
Fair.
But that's all I got. There's not really much with that team. I don't have a problem with their starting lineup. I don't have a problem with any other stat I could find. It's just their bench scoring is absolutely abysmal, and I think that's what's going to hold them back this year, because there's not really much you can do when your bench is -10 in differential.
It is going to be tough.
But that is all I've got. So if you guys are ready to move on, we're going to go to Adam